The new RF power meter from ImmersionRC. You might not need it, or maybe you do. Now this is the version 1 of the same RF power meter, but I didn't use this as much as I would have liked to because of the large size, the need for an external battery that had to plug in right here to make it power up. The display was a little hard to read in the sunlight, so it wasn't the greatest to be at the field, and you also had to use one of these external attenuators if you're going to do a direct measurement to a transmitter. In addition, it only had one frequency in the 5.8 gigahertz region. But let's look at the new one. Now you notice the size is taken care of with a new one. It's only about maybe 2 1/3, 2.5 inches long, and about 1 inch wide. It also has this triangular base, so you can set it and read the display, which by the way is an OLED display. You can just hit this button down here once to turn it on and once to turn it off. But the OLED display actually has no backlight. It's very bright in sunlight, so you can see it easily. So it's a good contrast between white and black. Easy to read. Now this one has a USB port right here like the old one, but there's a battery inside this one, so you don't need the external battery, and you can charge the battery right off the USB port. And I think it'll last about 4 hours after you charge it. This thing also has no external attenuator that you have to put on to measure directly from a transmitter. It's built in. It has a 30 dB attenuator, so that part is taken care of. So really you just have these three things that come with it. One is your little connector here, which is a male-to-male SMA for direct measurement to a transmitter. And then you have your little sniffer antenna that you can use to go and measure relative power of any transmitter. So let's look at the frequencies that the new meter has, and also we'll just take a quick look at how the menus work, because they are very easy to work. So you just press this button once to get into the menus, and then if you want to check an item you can move up and down like this with up and down. Very simple. Alright, let's look at the frequency. We'll press once to select that. Now we can move up and down to go through the frequencies. So it starts out with 35 megahertz, 72, 433, that's good for long range stuff. We got 868 and 900. We have 1200, good for those 1.2 video people. And 2400 also can be used for video. And then we have the 5600 range. So this is where it's different than the old one. It has 50 megahertz intervals that step through this, so it has like 9 intervals of the 5.8 frequencies, where the other one only just had the one. Okay, let's go through. So we got 600, 650, 700, and you can see it just steps through there, all 9, until you get to 6000, like that. So it has more steps in the 5.8 band, but the rest of the bands are the same as the old one. So why would you want one of these? Well, it actually has 3 screens right here, and each one has some special functions that you might like to have, and it's very portable, so you can use these functions in the field. So the first screen here could be used to check for a damaged transmitter or a damaged antenna. Make sure that you're putting out the right amount of milliwatts for what your transmitter is set to, and also just make sure that other people's stuff is working okay in the area and not conflicting with yours. Okay, so let's move to the next screen. This is the duty cycle screen. So when you have this direct connected to an RC antenna, or maybe you could use the sniffer thing, you can find out if your RC radio is putting out the right duty cycle, and that varies from manufacturer to manufacturer. You can also tell, relative to the duty cycle, how many channels your radio is outputting, you know, like 8 channels, 16 channels, or somewhere in between. So that's kind of handy. Alright, let's go to the next screen. Now the third screen is favored by the mini quad racers, but I also like it for my purposes. For the mini quad racers, they can use it in Scully mode or what's called Sniffer mode, where you put this little antenna on, and you can go down the line and check everybody's quads to make sure they're in compliance for the milliwatt outputs. So that's handy for that, but it's also handy for everybody else just to check their equipment. Suppose I want to check the power output level of my long-range Easy UHF system, which is on the back of my Taranis radio right here. It's rated at 400 milliwatts, so let's just check to see and that's on high power. Let's just check to see what the low power is and if the high power is working. Alright, let's go ahead and turn on the power meter. Just press this button once and let it power up. Alright, now let's press this button once, get into the menus. Okay, I've already got it set to 433 megahertz. Now I'm going to move down and let's change this to peak, because peak is usually used with radios that have pulses, whereas video is just an analog straight level signal, doesn't need to have peak. You can use average for that. So let's go down to attenuation. Now it should be calibrated from the factory to measure the power output level at 0 dB. So I'm going to put this down to 0 dB. Remember, it already has a 30 dB attenuator built into it. Now, provided this frequency up here matches the frequency on the radio, it should measure accurately what the output level is. Okay, so let's go ahead and power on the radio. I'll get back out of this. Now this span down here, by the way, that's just how often basically it's the frame rate if you're in the scope mode, or just how often it takes a sample if you're in this mode. So I'm going to get out of here. There we go. 2 clicks to the left. Alright, now I'm going to turn on the radio. And there it is. So you can see I'm getting about 170 milliwatts on the low power reading. Now like I said, this is rated for 400 on high power, so okay, there you go, right on 400. Looks like 408, something like that. So I know that my transmitter is good. Now see how this is flickering really fast here? Now that has to do, if I go back in there, that has to do with this span here, like I said, the frequency that it takes the sample. Press that button, get it up, so it can be 160. That's probably the slowest right there. Okay, I'll get back out. So there we go. See, it's moving a little slower now. Maybe a little easier to read that way. I don't know. So now I've just got it with the sniffer antenna on it. If I hold that up near the 433 megahertz antenna, you can see it's only reading microwatts right now. And that's because I have to go in here and increase the attenuation number. Now that doesn't mean I'm adding extra attenuation. It actually means I'm adding gain to cancel out attenuation. So if I go in here into the menu, oops, sorry, go like this, I'm on attenuation. Now, we want to bring that attenuation up. Let's just bring it up to like 30 or something like that and see what happens. So if I go all the way up to 30, that should be canceling out the 30 dB attenuator that's built in. So there it is right there. Now let's get back out of it. Now I'll hold it up there. What do we get now? Now I'm getting like 60 milliwatts. See if I go around here. Yeah, see, I'm getting quite a bit more now. Now let's make it 36. Right there. Okay, let's just look at it on the first screen. I'm running around 180, 190, somewhere in there. I'm going to go ahead and flip it to high power. Okay, now you can see it's moved up. It's a little high. I probably need to bring down that attenuator value a little bit, maybe to 30, but at least it gives me an idea that this transmitter is working in high and low. That's back to low. And you can see the same thing if you go into the little Sniffer Scully mode screen here. You can see that's the low power right there, and I've already zeroed it by pressing this up. So that's about low, and now go high, and you can see it jump up there. And the other thing you can do is there's another mode here, which is the duty cycle. So just once to the left, and I can measure the duty cycle right here. And right now I got it on 160 down here on the span. Let's bring that down a little bit. So there's 40, so that's about where it is right there. You can see that locks in. Right here is the first spike, and then over here is the second one. Now if you look at the external transmitter setup, that's my Easy UHF module. For my Tyrannus radio right here, you'll see it's set to 12 channel mode, and I have 30.5 milliseconds for the frame, the ppm frame, which is the same thing as the duty cycle. So that's why we see a little bit less than 40 milliseconds on the RF power meter. Now if I was to come down here and change the number of channels, you'll see that the frame then gets larger. When I get to 16 channels, we now have 38.5 milliseconds, and when I go back down to say 8 channels, we have 22.5 milliseconds. So that's how we can use the power meter to judge by the duty cycle how many channels we're outputting. So the pricing on this is $79, and you can purchase it several places. But if you want to help out my channel, I've got some affiliate links underneath the video where you can order it. And one is from Amazon and the other is from Banggood. And don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notify checkbox. Thanks for watching.